Hey guys, we're back at Huntsville looking at cycle carts. Stick around. So we're with Ben Terwilliger and his awesome Mercedes Benz, the Blitzen Benz. So Ben, where did you first find cycle carts and how did you come to get to this point?
So like everybody else, I found CycleKarts on the internet. We were doing gravity racing and building our cars from scratch. And the homemade online built community being what it is, I came across the CycleKart thing. Same thing as gravity car, but you got a motor in the back. I'm in the Army. I spent 6 years in Germany and in Stuttgart specifically, and in the Mercedes Benz Museum, and up in the museum up north of there in Sinsheim, they have 2 of the original Blitzen Benz. There were 6 of these made. They were a 21 liter. Now I'm on video, so I probably got it wrong, but it's a 21-ish liter motor. And Benz, it wasn't Mercedes Benz technically at the time. It was Benz.
Right, Benz, yeah.
They wanted the motor to showcase what they could do. And let me tell you what they could do. When they set the land speed record at Daytona with this, the land speed record stood for 10 years.
Wow.
From this car.
And that was on sand.
That was on sand.
Yeah.
It was the fastest thing on Earth. There was not a plane, train, or automobile, boat, or anything that was as fast as this. And I believe it was Bob Burman is the one that set the land speed record. Eddie Rickenbacker, famously of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and World War I ace. He set a lap record. This was the first vehicle to go around Indianapolis in under 1 minute.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh, it was a...
So Barney Oldfield also drove this.
Barney
Read a
Oldfield,
great
yes.
book about this. First super speedway Barney Oldfield. This is one of his most successful cars he drove.
That's right.
And pretty amazing car. So you really captured a lot of great details. You got, of course, a great, fantastic logo on the side. Did you hand paint that, or is that a
No.
sticker?
So my kudos and props to my magnificent wife Emma. So we went through several. There's different images and different versions, and for brevity's sake, we chose this one. And my wife did all the photo editing to clean up the image, and then she did this with a Cricut. So it's multiple layers.
Oh, wow.
And then it's a Cricut cut, and then
That's
laid
fantastic.
up. And there were so many versions of the car. We kind of did a little bit of a mix of some of the versions. The one version that mostly looked like this, the bird was actually pretty small.
Right.
The pretty version there's a guy in California that has the third one as a remake. If you search for it on YouTube, you'll see his. He's got the bigger bird, and we like that one. He's also got the black and gold pinstriping that goes all around.
What I will
the car.
say about this cycle cart from my perspective is you can immediately tell what this cycle cart is. You can immediately tell, if you know what the Blitzen Benz looks like, that this is the Blitzen Benz. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind. But even without the logo, you would know by looking at the exhaust pipes, the shape of the car, the nose cone, frame.
Let's see how good your son is with video editing. Maybe he'll superimpose some images over the video as we're talking.
You could probably do that. So
and you can see some images of the original car.
In cycle karting, getting as close as you can to the inspiration car is super important. Getting the profile close, because you have to change the profile. You can't get the long
Steve.
hood.
We could talk all day. I agonized over, you can't shrink the cockpit.
Right.
So I agonized. It's a 70-inch wheelbase, which is longer than most.
Okay.
So what I ended up doing was I figured out how much it needed to be reduced, and I took out I divided it into 3, and I took out equal parts out of the tail, cowl, and hood.
Yeah.
And that way I kept the tire in relation to the radiator and the back tire in relation to the driver.
So that's a great trick. So one of the things I've done, I get a really nice profile picture and try to find out how high above the tire the hood is. If you can get that profile to kind of come close.
Right.
And then break it into 3s. You're right, exactly. 3. If you break it into 3 pieces, you can make things look really, really cool.
Let me tell you how I got my height.
Yeah.
I sat in it, and I figured out how high I could make it and still be able to see over it. I'm only 5'5".
Because the real car is very, very tall.
It was super tall.
Yeah.
So I figured out as high as I could get and still comfortably see over it, and that's where I went.
So this is your second cycle cart.
It is.
So don't feel bad, guys, when you build your first cycle cart, you don't get a result like this. Although Ben's first result, if you've seen it, looks fantastic.
We'll looked better on pictures. It would look as good in person,
but
it was much more typical. This one I spent more time, attention to detail.
Yeah. And that's what we want. We want you to kind of graduate in your skill level. Right?
Yeah.
You're going to learn more each time you go learn these things. So
I am not a mechanic by trade. I'm an Army officer by trade. So this is like total hobby. I'm learning as I'm doing.
Exactly. That's what this is
I
for.
bought a rivet gun. I'd never done rivets before. This is the first time I've done rivets.
Right. And so you're learning new skills, which is fantastic, and that'll carry over into other things in your life.
That's right.
And this probably won't be the last thing you build with your hands. So Ben, I'm really glad you came out today to the Huntsville Grand Prix.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thanks
Appreciate
for spending
it.
some time with
Thank
us
you.
and talking
Thank
about
you, Steve.
CycleKarts. Hey guys, get out in the garage and build something cool.